if I tell you something, we've got confidentiality.
What'd you do?
First of all, amazing job on this film. I love this trilogy. MaXXXine knocked it out of the park. It's bigger, the hair's bigger. The 80s is the era of excess. That's even bigger. Amazing job. And this film pays homage to the films of that era, which I really, really love. First question for you, Ty. So with this film, we dive into Maxine Minx's backstory. It's somewhat of an origin story for her. Can you talk about how much of that Mia knew ahead of time and how that helped inform her performance?
I mean, she didn't know any of it until I gave her the script.
Really?
Yeah. No, I kind of wrote it without telling her on purpose because we had made 2 movies back to back, and that's a really unique scenario. And then we had some time off because the movies were coming out, and I was writing this one. And I actually gave it to her at the premiere of Pearl. But no, she didn't know. She knew kind of roughly. She knew it was in Hollywood, and she kind of knew what it was up to. But I also didn't want to tell her because I didn't know. So I didn't want to promise her something and then go, oh, I changed it. So no, she read it. I gave it to her on the plane on the way to Venice for the Pearl premiere, and that's when she found out.
Wow, that's incredible. Wow. Giancarlo, amazing job as always. You are a phenomenal actor. From if I read correctly, I believe your daughters introduced you to Pearl and X. Can you talk, first of all, you play Teddy Knight Esquire, which is one of the coolest names of any movie that I've ever heard. This is a guy that, he's an agent and lawyer for MaXXXine. He's kind of left his previous life behind, much like MaXXXine has, and he's really guiding the careers of these younger performers. Can you talk about what attracted you to the role and also the parental aspect of Teddy in this film?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm always fascinated with, people who wear masks and have shed one a mask for another, and it was out of a conversation I had with Ty, about how people in Hollywood seem to be, they're not who they are now, or they're not who they used to be, and they've traded in for something else, and they completely take on that persona. And I was intrigued by that. I normally am, because I feel like when you recreate yourself somewhere else as some other human being, then you take on all the trappings of it, and Teddy's good at it. Like, he probably did something else that was pretty reprehensible in a past life, but he actually is a pretty good agent. I think the best part of him is that he has a nurturing quality that seems fatherly, but that also is emblematic of someone who believes in someone else and gives good advice and says, it's sort of the moment in the film where Elizabeth Debicki's character, says, whatever else is going on in your life, squash it, right? She can see through that something's troubling you. I don't have all of your attention. Are you listening to me? I mean, all that stuff is so very important. But Teddy does it with being firm, but with a gentle, compassionate understanding. Right? And allows you hope that you could trust him, that he's going to guide you in the right way. You have talent. I see you doing it. Forget about all that other stuff you're doing. Focus and get it done.
That's amazing. Now we got to get a Teddy spinoff. I feel like there has to be a Teddy spinoff in the works now. Moses, you're incredible in this film. I know this is your first feature film. You knocked it out of the park.
Thank you.
You played Leon, which is Maxine's best friend and also a movie expert. Can you talk about the character Leon and also working with Mia in this film?
Yeah, well, Leon is great because he's the only person in Maxine's life who, who doesn't necessarily want anything from her, and seemingly the only person that Maxine trusts. It's the only time we actually see her being vulnerable is when she's with Leon, and he just loves movies and seemingly loves Maxine. And it was really great working with Mia and getting to develop like a relationship with her that we could connect the characters to after seeing her, not only in the first 2 movies, but I mean the first time I saw Mia in a movie was like 10 years ago. So working with her, but also all of the other people in this cast that I've been watching my whole life. It's like pretty cool, I gotta say.
Now, Ty, I read that you have plans for other, sequels to this, but from the marketing, it seems like this would be like the final chapter. Do you have other plans to carry on the X, franchise?
We'll see. I mean, the thing is that I made X and no one really knew we were making that movie, and then we made Pearl and no one really didn't know we were making that movie. And then we came out with X, and we told everyone we made a secret movie called Pearl, and then when we told everyone about Pearl, we told them we were going to make another movie called MaXXXine. And so part of what's been fun about making these movies is not having everything be known before you make them. And whether it's another thing in this or not, I'm just not going to tell you. You know, because, I mean,
Fair answer.
Because it's been part of the fun of this is kind of going back to the pageantry of not putting everything out on the internet and letting people go in. I mean, especially with this movie, and since you've seen it, it's like, this is a movie where I really want people to go in not knowing what's happening, not just because of the plot, but just because of so many of the scenes and so many of the things in it. To be able to go in and really be like, I actually don't know what to expect of this movie is so rare now. And because these three movies are so different from one another, it's really fun for me to say, like, you don't know. Even if you've seen the other movies, it doesn't matter. You know, this will be a very new experience for you. And so I'm doing my best to hang on to that as much as I can in a world where everybody's trying to scoop everything.
You know, honestly, this is what I love about MaXXXine too, because it is such a great standalone movie as well. Actually, all three of those movies are great standalone movies as well, but phenomenal job. This film is absolutely incredible, and I absolutely love it. So thank you guys for your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I can handle myself.
So said every fat girl in Hollywood.